In a time of intense strife, where kingdoms clashed over the Holy Land, one young man defied both illness and the expectations of his people to lead Jerusalem in a fierce struggle for survival. Baldwin IV, known as the Leper King, became a legendary figure in medieval history and Crusader mythology. Despite his debilitating disease, he stood as an unwavering defender of the Latin kingdom, challenging one of history's most renowned figures, Saladin, and inspiring a legacy of resilience that has endured for centuries. But what drove this young king to defy both physical suffering and overwhelming odds? And how did his leadership impact the fate of Jerusalem? Stay with us, and let's find out together. If you're intrigued by the strength and sacrifice of Baldwin IV, be sure to subscribe to our channel, Best of History and Mythology. Hit the like button and activate the notification bell so you won't miss our deep dives into history's great personalities and epic legends. Baldwin IV of Jerusalem was born into a world torn by war, a medieval king destined to lead the Latin kingdom of Jerusalem. Son of King Amalric I, young Baldwin was soon marked by an unusual fate. While still a child, he was diagnosed with leprosy, a disease that could isolate even the strongest rulers from their own people. But Baldwin's resilience emerged early, molded under the tutelage of William of Tyre, a prominent historian who became Baldwin's teacher and advisor. William recognized Baldwin's sharp intellect and unwavering spirit, seeing potential in him that went beyond his physical condition. This was no ordinary heir to the throne. Baldwin was destined to be a leader who would defy both his illness and the turmoil surrounding him. Even as his body began to bear the scars of leprosy, Baldwin prepared for his role as King of Jerusalem with determination. The Latin kingdom was constantly under threat, especially from Saladin, a powerful and ambitious Muslim leader seeking to expand his rule across the Holy Land. This period of Crusader history was fraught with tension, as both sides vied for control over Jerusalem and the surrounding territories. The Crusaders, though skilled in warfare, were often outnumbered, and Baldwin's presence in this Latin kingdom gave them hope. He represented more than a king. He was the symbol of the Crusader spirit, holding the Latin kingdom together in a time of growing instability. Baldwin IV's early reign was a testament to his courage. Even as he faced mounting physical limitations, he remained steadfast. His enemies, particularly Saladin, recognized his bravery and strength, making his rule a respected one. With the future of Jerusalem uncertain, Baldwin's youth was marked not by leisure but by preparation for battle and the responsibility of leading a kingdom that was both a fortress and a spiritual center for the Crusaders. As Baldwin IV ascended the throne, he did so not only as a teenage king, but as a medieval figurehead fighting against overwhelming odds in the Holy Land. The Latin kingdom of Jerusalem, fragile and ever threatened by the surrounding powers, found hope in its young ruler. Despite his diagnosis of leprosy, Baldwin chose not to be confined by his condition, taking up the responsibility to defend Jerusalem against the forces of Saladin, the Sultan of Egypt and Syria. Saladin's ambition to unite Muslim territories and reclaim Jerusalem was clear, and Baldwin understood that his Latin kingdom would face unrelenting pressure. Yet Baldwin's spirit and strategic mind were equally formidable, readying him for the daunting battles ahead. Baldwin IV's decision to continue leading his people, even while battling the effects of leprosy, demonstrated extraordinary resilience. What would you have done in his place? Stepped back to save yourself, or continued to fight for the kingdom at all costs? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. In 1177, Baldwin IV faced his first significant challenge. Saladin, a leader feared by the Crusaders for his military prowess, launched an attack intended to capture Jerusalem. Baldwin responded decisively, gathering a smaller force of Crusaders and confronting Saladin at the Battle of Montgisard. Despite being heavily outnumbered, Baldwin's tactical brilliance led to a stunning victory over Saladin's much larger army. The Leper King himself led the charge, wielding his sword with fearless determination. His triumph at Montgisard not only showcased his strength as a medieval king, but also dealt a significant blow to Saladin's ambitions, halting his campaign and providing a crucial morale boost to the Crusaders. This victory solidified Baldwin IV's reputation as a king who was not to be underestimated. News of the young Jerusalem king's bravery spread across the region, and the people of the Latin kingdom found renewed hope in their leader. Crusaders across the Holy Land rallied behind him, seeing in Baldwin a leader willing to risk everything to protect his kingdom. His rise to power and his early victories against formidable adversaries, especially Saladin, set Baldwin IV apart as a true great personality of the Crusades, a leper king who defied both his illness and the expectations of his enemies. As Baldwin IV continued to lead Jerusalem, his battle became as much against his own deteriorating body as it was against Saladin's forces. His leprosy, advancing relentlessly, made it harder to fulfill the demands of a medieval king. Yet Baldwin refused to relinquish his duty, fighting to secure the Latin kingdom while facing increasing internal struggles. The Crusaders in Jerusalem, loyal but wary of the king's worsening condition, began to consider the kingdom's future. Baldwin's illness made it clear that his reign would not be a long one, sparking a quiet yet fierce battle over his legacy and succession. With his health in decline, Baldwin named his sister Sibylla's husband, Guy of Lusignan, as his regent. This decision, however, only intensified tensions within the Crusader ranks. Guy, though ambitious, was viewed with suspicion by many nobles, who feared his rule might weaken the Latin kingdom's stability. The internal divisions created a struggle within the kingdom's own court, threatening to undermine Baldwin's efforts to keep the Crusaders united against the looming threat of Saladin. As Jerusalem's king, Baldwin tried to manage these factions, striving to ensure his legacy as a ruler who preserved the strength of his kingdom despite the limitations of his illness. At this time, Saladin was strengthening his forces and capitalizing on the Crusaders' internal discord. The Sultan's military campaigns were a constant threat, pressing Baldwin to act quickly to defend Jerusalem. Baldwin, weakened yet unwavering, continued to lead as best as his body would allow, seeing his reign as a final opportunity to fortify the Latin kingdom against its enemies. His efforts in this period were not just for the battles at hand, but for the kingdom's future, striving to leave a legacy as a leper king who protected Jerusalem despite every adversity. Baldwin IV's struggle became symbolic of the Crusader spirit itself, unyielding even as internal and external forces threatened to tear it apart. By 1182, Baldwin IV's health had taken a severe turn. Yet the young Jerusalem king remained resolute, prepared to defend the Latin kingdom against the relentless forces of Saladin. The Sultan, now a formidable ruler across Egypt and Syria, was determined to reclaim Jerusalem from the Crusaders. Saladin's army, seasoned and well-resourced, posed an imminent threat, and Baldwin understood the stakes. Even as a leper king, Baldwin would not abandon his people. Weak and nearly blind, he commanded his forces from a litter, embodying resilience and courage, inspiring his Crusader knights to fight with unmatched valor. Saladin, aware of Baldwin's physical limitations, expected an easy conquest. But the medieval king's strategy defied all expectations. Baldwin anticipated Saladin's maneuvers and fortified the most vulnerable points around Jerusalem. When Saladin's forces advanced, Baldwin's strategic placement of troops and defensive structures took the Sultan by surprise. In a series of clashes, Baldwin led his troops, signaling commands and inspiring his knights even from his weakened position. His bravery forced Saladin to recognize that Jerusalem would not fall without a fierce fight, and despite suffering from his illness, Baldwin's leadership created a rallying point for the Crusaders. If you're captivated by tales of courage and historical legacies, make sure to subscribe to our channel, Best of History and Mythology. Don't forget to leave a like and hit the notification bell so you're the first to see more inspiring stories of history's most remarkable figures. In one of his final battles, Baldwin IV witnessed his knights pushing back Saladin's forces, sending a powerful message across the Latin kingdom. His body, ravaged by leprosy, no longer allowed him to wield a sword, but his mind remained sharp. Under his command, the Crusaders defended their territory with renewed strength, seeing in Baldwin a true warrior king. For the people of Jerusalem, Baldwin's last stand symbolized defiance against overwhelming odds, a testament to the enduring spirit of the Crusaders. By 1185, Baldwin IV's health had reached its limit, forcing him to cede power and retreat from public life. Though physically frail, his spirit left an indelible mark on the Crusader kingdom of Jerusalem. Known as the Leper King, Baldwin IV's legacy would come to embody resilience, courage, and a selfless devotion to his people. The Jerusalem king's reign, though short, proved monumental in the history of the Latin kingdom, inspiring not only his own knights but also future crusaders who saw him as the ideal medieval king, unwavering even in the face of personal suffering. Baldwin IV's choices left an unforgettable legacy. Do you believe his struggle against Saladin influenced the Crusaders' morale long after his passing? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Baldwin's choice to place the kingdom's future in the hands of his sister, Sibylla, and her son demonstrated his commitment to preserving stability. Yet, his departure left a void, one that internal factions struggled to fill. Guy of Lusignan, whom Baldwin had previously named as regent, soon revealed his ambition, creating division among the Crusaders and weakening Jerusalem's defenses. Baldwin's legacy, however, remained intact. He had shown that true kingship was not just about wielding power, but about sacrificing for the greater good of the Latin kingdom. Even Saladin respected the strength and dedication of the Leper King, viewing him as a worthy adversary. Baldwin's bravery and tactical genius left Saladin with a profound sense of respect for the Crusader kingdom. After Baldwin's passing, Saladin would eventually take Jerusalem, but the memory of Baldwin IV's resistance lingered, reminding both allies and enemies of a king who defied limitations and fought to his last breath. In Crusader history and mythology, Baldwin IV is remembered not for his illness, but for his unyielding determination to protect Jerusalem, a legacy of strength that transcends time. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video on Best of History and Mythology.